So you may be a business owner, the leader of an organisation, or the manager of a department in which you're looking to effect some change. But what we know of change is that it will only happen if certain conditions exist. And that's why I want to spend a few minutes on this video introducing you to the formula for change, which is a tool that I use a lot within my coaching to really help business owners drive change within themselves or their teams and ultimately then their business. So, what does this formula for change look like? Well, it really is a set of 4 letters, and I'll explain each of those in turn. But in summary, it stands for dissatisfaction times vision plus first steps must be greater than resistance. So let me explain. Dissatisfaction really is a recognition that the current situation is suboptimal. There's something just not right that you're looking to kind of make right. So we need to understand kind of the full extent of that dissatisfaction. However, without then having a get out or kind of a vision to move towards, dissatisfaction in and of itself is a terrible place to be, because we stay in a state of despair, and that builds into anger, and we get a lot of the behaviours that in Action Coach we call below the line behaviours of blame, excuses and denial. So we want to move ourselves, we want to move our team out of this situation to a different place, and that's where we need to have a vision of what does good look like, what's the place that we want to move towards, what does that look like. But that in and of itself, just having an idea as to kind of what we need to move towards isn't good enough, because vision without action is a bit like building a castle in the sky. It's like having a great idea without having a roadmap on how to actually get there. And what you'll find then is, if that situation were to persist, then your team would start to get frustrated and probably quite cynical as well, because it's just another good idea. It's all talk with no real action behind making it happen. And you yourself, if you're looking to make change within yourself, you'll get frustrated. You'll get a bit cynical towards the whole idea of change. And then the first steps are just that. It's the roadmap. It's what do we need to do in order to actually move away from the situation we're in just now towards a better situation. So we need to be clear on those 3 parts of the equation, but we also really need to spend some time understanding what are the possible resistances to change. And really they fall into 2 camps. We'll either be resistant to change based on the information that we do or don't have. So what I mean by that is we may lack information in order to make a decision to embrace change, in which case we need to get more or better quality information. Or there's a disagreement over the information that we do have, in which case we need to get ourselves to a position that we are comfortable with what's in front of us in order to then make that decision to change. And the second set of resistances really sit under psychological resistance. And really that boils down to ultimately fear of loss and fear of our incompetence. So is there something that we fear that we might lose as a consequence of embracing the change? Or actually, our fear of incompetence really is, do we feel as if we, ourselves and the team, are actually able to embrace the change, have the competence to do the things that are required to get to the vision? So those are the things that we'd need to kind of understand in order to really get a sense of how successful our change program is likely to be. So, in summary, our dissatisfaction needs to be such that we want to have a better future. The better future needs to be clear in our minds in terms of the vision that we hold, and how we then go about actually making that happen is going to be important through our first steps. But all of that needs to be clear enough and strong enough to overcome any resistance that we may have to change. So there we go. There's the formula for change. fairly straightforward to understand, at least at a headline level. It takes a bit more diligence and real desire to understand each of the component parts of that in order to make change, move successfully through yourself, through your department, your organisation, your business. So again, if you want to discuss this in more detail about how we can make whatever changes it is that you're looking for in your world happen, then get in touch. I'd love to help. There we go. All the best. Good luck.